Hi guys, this is Debbie,
This is Justin.
and we are in week 2 of the Top Chef Challenge, and we are so excited to see all of the tweets last week. Great job. It was awesome seeing all of your tweets and your examples, and we just thank you for participating. Our sponsors this week will be First United Bank, and they have donated an iPad mini to the lucky winner. So get your name in the drawing and tweet out, and we would love to give you an iPad mini. Now remember, we are looking at quick fire challenges each week, and Justin, would you tell us a little bit about this one?
You bet, Debbie. So remember for our quick fire challenges that we pull the strategies from the Lead Forward Instructional Strategies resource that we sent out last week. So if you have that one sitting out by your side, go through and highlight these 5 with me. This week we're going to focus on the scientific method graphic. So science teachers, there's one right down the middle for you. We're also going to look at hot seat, he said, she said with stand up, hand up, pair up. We're going to look at exit tickets with key understandings, which I bet will be very popular for folks. And then we're also going to look at mystery envelope. So star those, see which one appeals to you and which one that you would want to highlight for the rest of the players in the Top Chef. We're going to talk just a little bit about the he said, she said with stand up, hand up, pair up. So if you have your document, pull that one out and let's just walk through this one together. If we look, many times I think folks tend to go right to the middle, the instructional steps. So I want to start there, but then I want to highlight a couple of pieces that I think could be very important for us also. So first of all, in this one, the he said, she said with stand up, hand up, pair up, we want to look, number one, we want to pose a question to students where they're expected to draw some conclusions. And then we want students to write down a couple of additional conclusions. It might end this way, or I might gain this from this type of question. A couple of different thoughts that they have. You could find those from different formulas, rules, theorems, or different key understandings we have in class. Once the students have written down a couple of valid conclusions, then we encourage them to do the stand up, hand up, pair up. And if I were teaching this one, I would simply ask the students to take their conclusions and stand up. And once they're up, I would have them raise their hand. When their hand's in the air, they just walk over to someone else that might be a partner and kind of give a high five in the air. We know that anyone with their hand up is still looking for a partner. Once everyone's paired up, then we could pose the question to them. And what we would want students to do is share their valid conclusions with each other. You might think about who would start the conversation. So the person with the most siblings would start this time, or whatever that might sound like. So give each partner an equal amount of time to share, and then we'll have them repair. So once they've done that, thank your partners, hands back up, find a new partner, and move. Now, one of the things we want to point out on this one is that it's really important between the conclusions or even at the end that the teacher takes time to clarify and verify. So we heard several students say this and we're on the right page with it. Keep thinking about this one and let me clarify this point over here. So we want teachers to be able to take that moment at the end to really make sure you solidify what you're wanting to get across to the students, the type of thinking involved. Which brings me to the next piece, and I think many people look past the blue column, and I really want to draw your attention to this one. Stand up, hand up, pair up is really fun to do, but if we don't ratchet up the thinking involved in the process, we may really be missing the point of doing this activity. So remember, when the students are talking together, listen for them drawing conclusions, communicating with each other. Are they applying what they know about a topic to draw their conclusion, and so on and so forth? And here's why that's important to us, guys. Many times we have classroom assessment and STAR type of assessment or some type of summative assessment, and what we see is students on our classroom assessment, they get it. When I taught it, they were able to apply that directly to the assessment that is right there at the end of the unit or during the day. But when they get to STAR, they're not able to experience that same type of success. And what we talk about here is the idea of transfer. They got it in class when I taught it, but they weren't able to transfer it to a different type of question or a different setting on STAR. The way we get kids to increase their transfer is to vary the type of thinking and the type of activities they're doing with each concept. So if we can take one concept and have them one day do a stand up, hand up, pair up, and then the next day do a different one of these high yield strategies, the students will start to be able to think about that concept in a way that they could transfer it to different stimulus. So anyway, I really think that's going to be important. We're really looking forward to this one this week. Here's an example of what this one might look like. So the students are in the middle of the stand up, hand up, pair up, and someone could tweet that students write valid conclusions to a problem. Then they stand up, hand up, pair up to discuss and put the hashtag CISD Top Chef. So that's a good example of one that we might see this week. You guys will continue to post amazing examples, I'm sure. Debbie, are there any tips about Twitter you would share with everyone?
There are. Do you notice that there's a capital uppercase S and a lowercase s, and that stands for students? When you're talking about Twitter, when you only have 144 characters to get your thoughts across, teachers have come up with that shortcut. So you might see a SS for students and then a TS for teachers. So that might be one way to get a little more out of your 144 characters. Another thing I wanted to point out, if you'll notice the kids in the picture, one thing you're going to want to do is make sure that your students have permission to be photographed and then placed on the web or published. So be aware of that. And Justin shared 1 of 5 strategies, so we can't wait to see which one you choose and for next week's challenge. Don't forget that we're still going on with the campus challenges too, and the Education Credit Union will be having a wonderful hamburger cookout for us in April, and we will give you more up-to-date current information on those challenges next week. First United Bank, we're going to thank them for their iPad mini. We're very grateful for their gift, and we'll put it to good use with one of you who will win this week. And Top Chef, just wanted to leave you with one last thought. This is a quote from Guy Fieri, and he's from the Food Network, and I loved it because he says, cooking with kids is not just about ingredients, recipes, and cooking. It's about harnessing imagination, empowerment, and creativity, and we feel like that's what you're doing with your students and your tweets. So thanks for participating. We'll hear more from you this week, and we'd just like to say bon appetit.